The image of the beast and the rise of artificial intelligence. In Revelation 13:15, we hear, "And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed." But only God can give life. In this verse, we read that the false prophets can perform a supernatural act that will grant consciousness or artificial intelligence to an image, enabling it to speak and control the masses. Can a demonic control of AI or artificial intelligence possibly inhabit the image? Is this the fulfillment of Revelation 13:15? Elon Musk famously said, "With AI, mankind is summoning the demon." Join us now with our special guest, Michael Brown, to talk about these topics and more.
Right at the beginning, first of all, with artificial intelligence, and soon artificial general intelligence, is based on electricity. Now, whenever you have electricity involved, you have to be careful, because how did Satan fall? He fell as a lightning bolt. That's electricity. Satan has a tremendous influence over the electronic, over electricity, over airwaves, over a lot. We know that with the media, don't we? And with so many other things as well. So we have that as an initial flag. We can use certainly electronics in a good way, like you do, and like so many people do. But it also can be used by the prince of the power of the air, and the electronics that go through the air. So we're cautious with that. AI brings that to its a really high level now, when we have these robotic systems that are already smarter than human beings in certain ways. I don't think artificial intelligence will ever be more intelligent than humans, because it will always lack spiritual intuition, the emotions that inform us, like love and creativity and so forth. But it will have awesome capabilities of memory and collation that we certainly don't possess. And this opens the way for, of course, a lot of beneficial effects, but a lot of use also by nefarious forces, like anything else, like the atom. That can be used for good things, or it can be used to explode Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So this is getting pretty creepy now, though, because when you have something that can move at 100 to 150,000 times the thought of a person, and that's only right now. They expect that to increase exponentially every year until we have, quote, machines, unquote, that are many millions of times or trillions of times faster than we can think. It opens all kinds of gateways to control, to being able to control all of the electronic systems on Earth. I think we have to remember that there's always ultimately electricity that we can turn off, as long as we allow ourselves always to be in a position of being able to turn it off. But it is coming at tremendous speed right now. They think by next year everyone will generally accept that AI is more intelligent than humans. A lot of people, like I said, do already. They think it's already thousands of times, quote, smarter in some ways with memory and so forth. And it's a very interesting question, Ron. And the question is, if the evil one is so good with electronics, which he is, look at how much in haunted houses and poltergeist and demonic infestations he affects electronics, flickering lights on and so forth, affecting so many different systems. Well, that means that he can also affect a robot, an AI system, in whatever manifestation it is. He can get in there and infest it and control it in some fashion. I was talking to, I have a good friend who's a major exorcist, and we were having lunch a couple of weeks ago. And while we're having lunch, he says, there's this demon keeps texting me. And he shows us the text. He gets text from this demon around this one woman. It's not from her. The text will come even when somebody is watching this person's cell phone across the room. And what was incredible, he described, and again, this is a very, very credible man. He has a doctorate in psychology. He's very well respected in the Archdiocese of Washington, D.C. He's one of probably the 4 or 5 most well-known exorcist in the United States, in North America. He just spoke last week, and he sent me a message. He was over in Ireland. He spoke to 12,000 people, but at a conference. But at any rate, he knows what he's talking about. He's credible, and he had a case that was so powerful. It was a man who was being cursed by a witch he had had an affair with and had tried to break away from, and she was obsessed with him and constantly cursing him. And he said that this witch had powers he had never seen before,
Wow.
whereby she could send him a text that would have an attachment. It would be a picture of this guy in his car from the back of his head, as if she was in the back seat.
Wow, that's crazy.
And also she would be able to describe verbatim conversations he was having with the exorcist, and when he was going to meet with the exorcist, and things that his wife was doing. A guy was married, unfortunately committed adultery, and his wife, his child, and he himself endured tremendous afflictions physiologically because of her. But she was involved with electronics again. And so I think with AI, that the devil's already there.
Wow.
He's there, and he's waiting.
Yes, you show in this article, I think someone asks AI, what does evil look like, or to portray evil? And it comes up with these images. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about this image?
Some of the images later on in an article, because it is a subscription article, so I don't know if you can access it or not, but some of the images, when they asked this AI to create, like on it wasn't Dolly, but a system like Dolly, and a demon. I mean, it was just, there were images more frightening than any I've ever seen, more upsetting than any I've ever seen. If I had my screen to present, I guess I could flash it to you, but I'm not sure we want to. This is bad enough, and this is nothing. What you're showing,
it's just a taste.
That's right. So you wonder, where's it getting this from? Where's it getting it from? It's worse than any movie. It's worse than certainly any representation that I've seen in a depiction from an actress. Where's it getting this? And I think the answer is that there's a demon in the machine. There's a demonic presence, or demonic presences in forces of electricity. They're able to manipulate electricity without much of a problem. And also, remember, we can talk about artificial intelligence, but when we're talking about demons, angels, the supernatural, we're talking about super intelligences. So AI is not going to be something that they can't easily manifest through.
Well, Elon Musk says with AI, mankind is summoning the demon. So I don't even know if he believes in demons, but that's what he's saying.
Yes,
so that's quite interesting.
Well said. Well said. It's interesting with Elon Musk, in the news so much, a little bit too much. I think perhaps we're wearing a little bit thin. But when he was young, according to one of his nannies, when he was a young boy, this woman who took care of him, she'd come in. I don't know how old he was, but he was very young. She'd walk in his room, and he had a replica of Stonehenge, the occult prehistoric site in United Kingdom in England.
Yeah.
And she said that she looked in his room one day, and he had his hands over it as if he was trying to conjure something, and he was saying something like in a ritual. Well, it makes you wonder, where's his power coming from? Where's all of this incredible serendipity with everything he touches turns to, quote, gold, unquote, or perhaps fool's gold, but he's the, quote, richest man on earth, and he's got this company, that company, here, there, everywhere. I got to be very careful with circumstances like that, and you got to be careful with anyone who the world elevates to that level.
Yes, it's not just a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences, especially with people that have reached such a high level in the world, or high status.
Well, we know from Jesus that he was tempted by the devil in the desert. The devil offered him all the kingdoms on earth, all the wealth, all the everything, and I mean, we have to take that literally. That's what Jesus recounted.
He has a potential for great good as well as great evil. So God allows things to happen. So we need to look at both sides of the story.
Right. And at Medjugorje, the one visionary Mediana, she described two occasions during which the devil appeared to her as a tremendously handsome young man, and he said to her, if you follow me, you'll have wealth, you'll have this. He was showing her visions of just luxury. You know, one can only imagine the cars and the homes and so forth. If you follow her, meaning the Virgin Mary, you will only know suffering. And so it was a temptation, just like he offered Jesus, and like he offers anyone who wants to do his bidding. You know, when you see great wealth, I'm not saying all the time, but when you see great wealth, there's often a crime or a sin behind it. There's some type of tapping into darkness.
Wow.
And you know, people say, "Oh, God is so good to me. I'm a multimillionaire." Well, make sure it's God that made you the multimillionaire.
It's a good point. It's a very good point.
Hello, dear brothers and sisters. Welcome back to Mother in Refuge of the End Times. We are excited to announce that Mother in Refuge will be collaborating with John Leap's ministry to present a once-in-a-lifetime event. We introduce the Exorcism and Deliverance Conference titled Shielding the Children of God. This 2-day event, which culminates in a live worldwide exorcism, will be providentially held on the feast days of St. Benedict and St. Veronica on July 11th and 12th, 2025, held live in New Jersey or online via live stream, with 3 powerful exorcists presenting, as well as an ex-satanic wizard, Zachary King, and more great speakers. We are thrilled to welcome our keynote speaker, Cardinal Simone, Chief of the Catholic Exorcism, known as the Living Martyr. Cardinal Simone was unjustly imprisoned and on death row in communist Albania for 28 years. Now, he is an active universal exorcist and teacher exorcist. He is described by Pope Francis as the exorcist of exorcists. We also welcome Monsignor John Esseff, spiritual son of Padre Pio, and previous spiritual director of Mother Teresa in the Missionaries of Charity. Purchase your conference tickets now for 20% off using coupon code Mother in Refuge. Register now on website www.johnleaps.com or scan this QR code for more details. Don't miss out on this powerful spiritual event. Be strengthened, be restored, and be cleansed.